This conference will now be recorded.
Hi everyone, good morning. Any doubts from previous topics?
Hello? Yes.
Yes, I can hear you. Please tell me.
Sir, in this sales order topic, how to know our unique number, sir?
Once it is created, automatically in that same screen it will populate. What is the ID it is generated?
Yes, sir, it is particularly how to know, sir. It is
It is
particularly the number is our generated number. How to know, sir?
that generated number will display to you on the same screen.
Okay, okay, sir.
So end
Okay, thank you.
user or functional consultant, when he created a sales order using VS01
Okay,
on
sir.
that same screen, this number, unique number will be generated and that number will be displayed to them. Or
Okay, sir.
else, for example, I have created but I forget to remember or something, then no worries. You have SAP provided reports are there where you
O-
can execute with your ID what are the sales orders you created. You can check even database table also. Directly we can go and see inside the table what are the sales orders you have created with your username. You can check and you will get the details.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah. So we are into tables, right? In our last session, we discussed about table creation. We started to create a table to maintain customer information. For that, we have created domain data element for customer ID. And requested you to create domain and data element for customer name and customer date. Hope you guys are created. There are no doubts. Today, what I'm going to do, I'll go and continue create the table with the help of the domain and data element, whatever I created yesterday session. To create the table, we need to execute transaction S11. Let me log in into the system. Transaction code is S11 for data dictionary. I need to create a table. So first have your table and then go to data dictionary S11 and choose radio button database table and enter your table name and click on create. The constraints for use in a logic is click on continue and then specify short description. The table is to store customer master data and then delivery class. Delivery class specifies what classification of data we were inserting so that this delivery class is helpful to transport data from one server to another server. Most of the scenarios we will be using delivery class as A, and we are creating table to maintain data. So you need to choose display maintenance allowed and then click on save. Save as local object. Now go to technical settings. Here we have an option data class size category. Select data class. The classification of the data, which is master data. So you need to choose APPL 0. And initial size I am giving as 0. When it is given 0, 5,000 entries will be stored. And click on save. Go back. Go to fields. As we discussed yesterday, table has to start with MANDT to maintain sufficient memory in all the servers. Is it a mandatory to maintain MANDT in every table? It is not a mandatory, it is recommended for better performance, for better utilization of memory. If you have not given MANDT also, there is no issue. System will allow you to create the fields. You will receive a warning message, that's all. But table will be created. I'll be starting with MANDT field because I don't want it to utilize memory of other servers. I'm creating this table inside this single server, single user. I'm going to use it in the same server. And this field is a key field. Choose the key and data element also MANDT. This data element which was created by SAP. So first save and double click on MANDT so that you can see this is a data element field. If you go to attributes, you can see who is created this particular field. When it was created, details are maintained here. And inside the data element, you can see they have used a domain. Domain name also same. And domain contains data type and length 3. So the data type for client field, what they have chosen, CLNT. CLNT is a field which identifies client information. Now I need to maintain my customer ID details. Specify your field name. And then this is also a key field. Select key field and enter your data element which you created yesterday. So this is your data element. And then save, check. So whatever you see in yellow color, which are warnings, you can ignore it. Otherwise, read the warning. So what it is saying, enhancement category which is missing. As my experience, I know what is this enhancement category. Enhancement category is nothing but which is there in the extras enhancement category. Whenever you create a table or anything, which should be future ready. Future ready means in future, if any other person, developer, business, they wanted to extend this table with few more fields or they wanted to change the field data type or length, then it should be available for enhancement. Enhancement means adding a few more extra functionality without disturbing the existing. So for that reason, you need to choose any enhancement category based on the data types what you are using. So I am using mostly character type. So I'll be choosing this character or numeric. Copy. Now save, check. So there are no more warnings also. And activate. Once you activated, you can see table status is active. Table status active means table which you created just now, which is permanently stored in database level, and there is a memory also allocated for this table. If you want, you can go and maintain data so that data also resides inside the database level. So to create the data, what we have to do? You need to go to utilities, table contents, create entries. But before creating the entries, I'll add few more other fields which we supposed to maintain: customer name and customer date. This is one field, customer date, another field. If you already created any data elements as I recommended yesterday, so use that data elements here for customer name and date. For now, I am using a standard data element. So this is standard SAP created data element. For name, I am using this, and DATS is the one which is SAP created. So ERDAT, which is SAP created data element. So name one GP, which is also SAP created, and ERDAT, which is also SAP created. So how I know these are the data elements which is suitable for name and date? It is for my experience, because for customer name purpose, I need character and maximum length is 35, which I already know SAP created one data element with that same data type and length. That's where I am using. If you are not aware of the any existing data elements, then what you will do, you go and create your custom data element or domain. Or if you wanted to search for the existing, in one session, I'll explain you how do you search for a data element which are created by SAP to identify a data type and length suitable for your requirements. Now, you can see here, there are data elements which are started with MNE and one data element which is started with the Z. By looking at the first characters, we can say which one is created by SAP, which one is created by customer development. Z or Y, whenever you see starting letter Z or Y, which is a table, which is a field, or which is a data element domain, or any other object, if it has Z or Y as the first character, you can say it is not created by SAP, which is customer creation. And if you see any letters, either table, fields, or data elements which started between A to X, you can specify that one created by SAP. Now let's save, check, activate. I have created a table to store customer information. These are my fields inside the table. To maintain data, what should I do? I need to go to utilities, table contents, create entries. This is one option. Or another way, you can click on this contents and then execute. Table contents, create entries. There will be a shortcut keys will be there. Either you can use the shortcut key to go to the table content create entries, or you can use this utilities table content create entries. Both are will work. So I'm using this create entries. Now you can maintain customer details. K 0001, which is a customer ID, and customer name I'm giving as Sanjay, and date, today's date, I'm giving today date. Save. You can use reset and then enter another customer data. This is created on 14th. Save. And I'm going to create one more customer. and this will be on August 1st. Save. Now go back. If you wanted to check data created inside the table, you need to click on this table contents. Without going inside into the table, if you wanted to know how many entries are there, you can click number of entries so that you can understand how many entries are there inside this table. If you wanted to see the data of all the information, you can click on this execute button. Now the data is displayed here. Customer ID information, name and date information. As I told you, MANDT customer ID are key fields. That's where you can see a color difference. And these two are not key fields. The meaning of key field means it won't accept any duplicate value. The meaning of non-key field means it accepts duplicate value. So similarly, we will go and create a sales table. I wanted to open this session as this and then going to another session. For that, I am using /o followed by S11. Now, another session is opened without killing the existing session. I am going to create sales data table. Click on create. This is table to store sales order information. Delivery class is A and display maintenance allowed. Save. So now I'll tell you why we have to store inside the local object. What is this pop-up? Whenever you are creating a table, you will be getting a pop-up to store under a package. Why this pop-up is coming? Why it is asking for a package? The reason is you are doing developments, means table creation in development server. But the table, whatever you created, which has to be maintained with the data in production server, which means your object should move from development to quality. Quality level testing should happen with the help of business. And if business satisfied with your table, then they'll approve to move to production. Hence, you can move your changes to production. But how this changes? The table which you created will be moved from development to quality, quality to production is with the help of basis. Then how basis people they will move? Basis people they will move with the help of transport request. Then how transport request will be generated? Transport request will be generated when you choose a real package, not $TMP. Because we are in training server, we were not moving objects from development to production. We don't have any production landscape. Because of this reason, we were storing our objects under local object. Local object means package is $TMP. But in real practice, we will never use this $TMP. We will use a package. This package we can create through a transaction SE80. So that I'll show you during our one more concept TMG creation. For now, I'll use existing package. Once I use existing package, then see now what will happen. Save. You can see, right, there is a request which is generated automatically. This request is called workbench request. You need to remember, whenever any object you created, if you choose that object to store as a local, the meaning of that is that object will not be transported to any other landscape. Whenever you create any object, object means now you got a requirement for a table. As a working, you will be getting requirements to create reports. You will be getting requirements to create smart forms. Different objects requirement you will receive in real time business. Whenever you got any requirement, for that requirement to fulfill, if you are creating an object, which this object, if you are storing under a local object, means you are not moving your objects from development to quality and quality to production. In interviews, to identify a candidate which is really working in the project or he just come out from an institute, to clarify that, what the questions they will ask is, what is the client you are using to log in and performing table creation or programs creation. If anybody says 800, that is one identification, easily can determine this is candidate from a institute. He just learned and come out. We don't have any real-time project experience, because in real projects, we don't have client 800. Client 800 only given for training servers. In real-time servers, other than 800, which means 900, 500, 600, with these names, servers will be maintained. This is one way easily we can understand. And another way, they will ask, you got a requirement from business to create a table. While you are creating a table, system will ask you to provide a package. On which package you will store your object. If you say, I am storing my object under local object, which means you are doing objects creation as a practice purpose, training purpose. That way they can easily identify, okay, you are not the one working on a real projects, because in real projects, nobody will not maintain under local objects. Everybody will maintain under a package, because when you maintain under a package, workbench request will be generated. Workbench request is nothing but which stores technical objects to help basis to move from one server to another server. Now I'm continuing with this request. Continue. And then go to technical settings, maintain data class, and data class. Now what data I am going to insert in this table is sales data. Sales data is not master data, which is transaction data. Sales information keep on changing. One customer, he will place multiple sales orders. That reason we can say it is a transaction data. Now choose APPL1 and size category I am giving as 0 only. Now save, go back. Now go to the fields tab and maintain fields starting with MANDT, key field, MANDT, and then my table, it must have sales order ID as key field. And I know already a standard SAP data element which has the sales order number, data type and length. I'm using it. In your case, as I explained in first class, create a domain and data element, and that data element use it for sales order ID. And sales order created date, I'm using ERDAT, standard one. As well as whenever we are creating a sales order ID, we should maintain customer ID also. Without customer, no sales order will be created in any business environment. Definitely, customer must be there whenever sales order ID details are maintained. For that reason, I am giving customer ID as well. I will use data element which we created under the table customer master for sales. There is a reason behind this, I will tell you later. Now enter. I have created a sales table. This sales table is having sales order ID, sales order date, as well as the customer to whom sales order we are creating. Now save, check, and enhancement category, it's a warning. Right now I am not giving this enhancement category. Warnings, you can ignore it. Now activate. Warnings occurred, no need to see. Now you can see the status of both the tables. One is customer table, which is active. Another one is sales table, which is also active. In customer table, we have already maintained customer information. Now I'll go and maintain sales information in the sales table. Now go to utilities, table contents, create entries. I'll be maintaining the sales order information. Sales order number started with A and ends with a number, and date, and I'm giving 1st of this August. Now if you see, I'm going to maintain customer ID. Okay, but if I see what are the customers we have in customer master table, we have customer 1, 2, 3, but here I'm going to give a customer with 4. Save. You can see a record successfully created. If I wanted to see the data, table contents, execute. Now what is wrong with this? We have customers are maintained in customer table, and we have sales which are maintained in sales table. There is a issue now here. What is that issue is, actually we have customers only 3, but we created a sales order with a customer which he does not exist in our organization. That means you created a sales order with incorrect customer, because we don't have this customer exist in our company. There is a no customer exists in our company with that number, and you have created a sale order. Because maybe knowingly or unknowingly, mistakenly, it happened. Sometimes users, they do mistakes when they are creating orders. Because of this, what will happen, there is no use of the sales order. If anybody asks what for your created sales order, you say, okay, for a customer 4 we have created, but when we go and see, there is no customer exists. Then what for the sales order created, for which customer it is created? Then this is called incorrect information, improper information. To eliminate such kind of issues, okay, SAP come up with a concept called foreign key. What is this foreign key is? Foreign key is a concept which establish relation between two tables, so that whenever you are maintaining data in a table and that data is depends on another table, then always check will happen with the other table, so that it is always maintain a proper information. If you see this example only, now when I need a check on customer ID field, whenever sales orders are maintained against to a customer, at that moment I need a customer check on the customer table. Actually it has to, when a user is entering customer ID as 4, it has to check for the customer master table, and it should throw error says customer 4 is not exist in the system, so that the user which he was creating a sales order, he can choose existing customer, then the problem will be resolved. The same concept is possible with the help of foreign key concept. To establish foreign key, there are 2 prerequisites tables must fulfill. What is these 2 prerequisites is, 2 tables must be active and it has some data. And second thing is, we need a common field. We need a common field or a common domain in both the tables, and any one of the table field or domain must be a key field. This is the pre-check to establish a foreign key relationship. The second point is what it is saying, we need a common field in both the tables, customer ID and customer ID. Both are same fields. And in any one of the table, this field must be a key field. In customer master table, the customer ID is key field. Now you can establish foreign key relationship on child table. Now question is, what is child table? What is parent table? A parent table means which is not dependent on any other tables. Child table means which depends on a table for information. Now here customer is not a dependent table or not a parent table. To maintain customer, you no need to depends on any other information. But to maintain sales orders, you have to depends on the customer. Right customer you need to choose when you are creating a sales order. For this, we were able to, the conditions we can able to achieve through foreign key relationship only. Now we will go and maintain foreign key relationship on child table where check is required. Now foreign key relationship from which table we were maintaining? Sales table, because when sales order is maintained and in that moment we have to provide customer details. But if there is no relation, possibility is there to maintain improper information. Let's maintain foreign key relationship for this sales table. Go back. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes. User password enter. Now go to your tables. One is customer and another one is sales table. So now we need to maintain foreign key relationship on child table. So go to change mode on child table. Now we need a check when we are maintaining customer information on the sales table. So place the cursor on customer field and then click on this symbol foreign key. Click on it. Now here provide your check table. Check table means on which table we have to go and check each and every time when the data is maintained. So now the check table here is customer table and click on generate proposal. Proposal will be generated by system based on the common fields. In both the tables, we have MANDT common, customer ID is common. Now click on copy. Now go save, check. This is warning, ignore it, activate, continue. Now foreign key relationship is established on this table. You can go and check that relation on the tab called entry help or check. When you go to entry help or check, where you can see foreign key, a checkbox which says now for this particular field, a check table is created, and whenever you are entering data inside this table for the customer ID field, always that entry will be checked in customer master table. Now you can go and maintain some information in this table and observe how foreign key relationship will work. I'm going to create one more sales order. Now I will be giving a customer which is not exist 5 and click on save. So we have 3, right? I'll be giving as 4. Now save. Now you can see entry not exist in customer master table, which means whenever I enter entry here, which is checking against with the entries of customer master table. 1, 2, 3 are the entries of customer master. We maintain data in this table. Now, how foreign key relationship is helpful for us to maintain proper data inside the table. If I go with customer which is not exist in customer master, it will accept and allow. I need to choose any one customer which is already exist so that it will accept and create entry inside the table. So the 3 save. Now if I go and check the table entries, you can see sales order. This is created previously before we maintain foreign key relationship. If you want, you can keep this entry, otherwise go in change mode. Now the same record, if you try to save, it will say error because this record is not exist. You need to choose any other record. Now save, go back. And also for this record change mode, I'll enter any one customer, save, go back. Now you can see whatever the sales orders are created against to a customer, and this customer is exist in the table customer master. So what we have done today, we created 2 tables. One is to store customer master data and another one is to store sales information. Customer table is a master data table. Sales table is a transaction data table. And where we have given this difference in the technical settings, we have data class. Customer master table, we are given data class as APPL0. In sales table, we are given APPL1. Why we have given APPL1? Because sales is keep on changes. It's a transaction data. But customer, once you created, which will not change frequently. That's where it is APPL0. And inside the table, we have created MANDT field in both the tables because we don't want it to allow other servers to keep the data of the tables what we entered in the development server for better memory usage purpose. And in the sales table and customer master table, you can see few fields we have added. Customer master table has ID, name, date. Sales table has ID, date, and ID, customer ID. And both the tables you may observe, key fields are there. Key fields are always at the top and non-key fields are always at the bottom. And data element section. Data element section, you can see I have created one data element for customer ID and utilized for my field customer ID. So you can also go and create a different customer data elements, custom data elements, and use it for the table fields for now. Or if you see any table where a respective data type and length is coming, so that you can use standard one also. The aim here is your field must have a suitable data type and length. For a customer date, if I given name one underscore GP data element, then it is not useful because name one GP carrying character 35. But you wanted to store date information. You need to get the dates related data type. As I already know, I have chosen few of the standard data elements. In your case, for your practice purpose, always use custom domain created and custom data element created. Don't go with the standard for now because you will need to be adapted with the creation of domain and data element. When you are going to create a table, use your fields and data element domain created custom. Okay. After creating the customer and sales, maintain a foreign key relationship. To maintain foreign key relationship, what we need is we need a common field in both the tables. Here, what is the common field? Customer ID. And not only common field, and this common field must be a key field in any one of the table. If you observe in sales table, customer ID is not key field. But in customer master table, customer ID is key field. Foreign key concept pre-check is we need a common field and any one of the table, this field must be a key field. Hence, which is satisfying the foreign key need. Then place the cursor on the child table where the check is required and then establish a foreign key relationship using this symbol and continue with the relationship proposed so that foreign key relationship will be established. The advantage of foreign key relationship, whenever you are creating sales order in the table, at that moment you need to provide the customer. When you are providing the customer, always system will check the entry what you have entered in the customer ID field against with the table of check table, whatever foreign key relationship is established. If the entry what you entered which is not there in the check table, system will stop you not to proceed further. The advantage of foreign key relationship, always you can maintain a proper data inside the database table. I recommend you to create tables, one for customer and another for one for sales. Maintain few fields. As I said, in the beginning time, always go with the custom. Later point of time you can also use standard, but as the first time when you are practicing, always start with the custom objects. Use custom domains, custom data elements created and used inside the tables. Once you're done with the data tables creation, maintain foreign key relationship between the two tables and then maintain data in the both the tables. Observe how foreign key relationship is working. I'll be stopping with this today. So far, any doubts?
Okay, if no questions, we can wind up for the day.